Good morning and happy third day of Vlogmas. I've just done my journaling prompts for today, and the first one was asking about a habit that you developed over the last year that you want to continue into the future. And the one that immediately sprang to my mind was skincare, which is something that I was terrible at for most of my life, not through lack of trying, but actually just through a really bad experience. I've had really awful skin like ever since the end of primary school. Just like teenage acne, which then morphed into adult acne. And when I was younger, I tried loads of things, but none of them worked at all. Retrospectively, I realized loads and loads of different cheap and cheerful sort of products. But anyway, and they didn't work. And so I kind of just gave up and was like, skincare is a hoax. I'm not bothering with this. And then my skin was still quite bad, but no worse than it was when I was working hard with skincare products for it. However, in the last year, with the help of good old YouTube, in fact, particularly the channel Skincare by Hiram, I'll link him down below if you haven't heard of it. I mean, he's a huge channel. I feel like I learn a lot more about how skincare is actually supposed to work, and so I thought I would share my routine with you today. In case you're interested, you might not be, I'll timestamp this video so you can skip this if you're not interested. I know that I'm always just super nosy about like the little details of people's daily lives and what they do. I honestly think this is one of the most amazing things about YouTube for me, is just the access to knowledge about how people really live their lives. My skin type, by the way, I have discovered in significantly too late recent life, is like quite dry and also sensitive. I always presumed for most of my life that I had really oily skin because I had really bad acne, which is not true. And probably explains why nothing I was doing was working. I had a bath this morning and washed my face there. The best cleanser that I have found for my skin by far is this one by LMS. It is quite expensive, but I've actually discovered that other cleansers are a massive false economy in comparison to this because it just lasts forever. Like a bottle this size, 200 milliliters, easily lasts me half a year of using it like twice a day, because you only need about one pump to lather the whole of your face. So yeah, absolutely love this cleanser. Then I've recently started using this chemical exfoliant by Paula's Choice. Again, one of these products that seems to be lasting really well. I bought this tiny bottle and there's still quite a lot in it. I use this once a day, often in the evening. I just put a few drops on my face and rub it in, and it does seem to help at smoothing out my skin. And even though chemical exfoliant sounds scary and violent, it's actually like so much gentler than using one of those exfoliants with bits in it which kind of scratch at your skin. So yeah, so far, big fan. Next up is moisturize, and I do this in 2 steps, starting off with this stuff called hyaluronic acid, which apparently just kind of encourages your skin to absorb a load of water. And given that my skin is really quite dry, particularly in the UK, like even in Congo where the air is super moist, I find this helpful. And in the UK in winter, my skin just can't deal, to be honest, and so the more moisture that I can get it to absorb, the better. Then after that, I go in with the big guns. This is CeraVe moisturizing cream. I know it's a massive pot. It's really cheap. This is a really good brand. Their products are just like really cheap, boringly packaged, but just like super effective, and they don't really have much in them apart from the very basics of what you need. It's like a really thick and effective cream, this one. I use it on my hands and also on my lips. Makes a massive difference. Lip balm doesn't really do anything for my lips, but this moisturizes them immediately. My hands totally do that thing in the UK in winter where they just go like crocodile skin. They just completely crack up and bleed. And so I have to work quite hard to try and keep them from bleeding. I always find it amazing when I go back to Congo. I can go back to Congo after being in the winter. My hands are like cracked and bleeding, and then I get off the plane, and within a few hours, they're basically healed. It's just incredible how much of a difference like the weather and the moisture in the air makes to your skin. And then the last thing, which I feel like everybody in the world is going on about at the moment, which again was a new fact to me as of fairly recently, maybe like a year ago, I found out you were supposed to do this, is the whole wear sun cream on your face every single day thing. So I've been using this one, which is from a brand called Thank You Farmer. It's a Korean sun cream. Again, it was quite expensive, but it doesn't make me break out, and my past experience of sun cream is that I just don't want to put it on my skin because my skin reacts so badly to it. So I'm happy to have found one that doesn't do that. So that's my morning skincare routine. Let me know if you'd be interested in seeing my nighttime skincare routine, which is a little bit different. And let's get on with our day. Okay, I thought I would sit down and talk a little bit about today's journaling prompt, which was reflection. And I put the focus on habits because I think habits are just such a helpful way to think about the goals that we want to achieve, to set up systems that enable us to become the kind of person that we want to be, and then to feel proud of ourselves for keeping up that habit rather than feeling proud of ourselves for achieving a specific goal. And the first thing I was thinking about is habits which I have developed over the last year, which I'm really proud of. There was skincare, which I've just chatted about, and the other one was making decisions based on my values. And this I have been doing probably for longer than a year, but definitely there have been times over the course of this last year. In particular, the decision to leave my last job and look for my new job that I've now got was very much made based on my values, and I have like sat down and done kind of exercises to list out the values which are most important to me. I would love to make a video about that in the future. I have it on my to-do list. And so that's been a habit that I've been really proud of developing. The habit which I want to get rid of for next year is that of comparing myself to others, particularly with regards to productivity. And I think other people suffer from this too. I'm sure other people must suffer from this too. But it's so easy to look at what other people are doing with their lives and just feel like you're somehow inherently lazy. And I think especially for people who have issues with illness, chronic illness. So like I've mentioned a few times on this channel, I get really bad migraines, which for me exhibit a lot as low-level, long-lasting headaches, which I then have to tread very carefully to make sure that they don't develop into a full-blown agonizing attack. And that can just like slow me down a lot in day-to-day life. And then when I'm looking at other content creators producing loads online, or looking at other people like achieving loads and loads in their jobs, I feel comparatively like a failure. And I just need to keep reminding myself that like I am trying my best in life, and that is enough. And I mention this on here because I really think this in various different forms is probably an experience that we all go through. And so yeah, I kind of just want to say like, you're definitely not alone if you feel that way. I completely do too. But I am trying to do better at comparing myself to others less. And I think this community here is like such a wonderful place because people are so kind and caring and supportive of each other, and like nobody judges you if you don't post a video. You know, in life people don't judge you if you don't go out with your friends one night because you're feeling overwhelmed, but it's really easy to feel like they are doing. And it's been one of the nicest take-home lessons of this channel for me, is just that people are nice. Like, you start making YouTube videos and you think you're going to get a load of weird anonymous hate comments, and what you actually get is just a network of connections with really lovely, like-minded humans from all over the world. And it's such a like positive reminder of the goodness of humanity. I guess what I also want to say is thank you everybody for being here, because you really bring me a lot of confidence and reassurance, and I appreciate that so very much. Continuing with the reflection theme, my plan for today is to do this thing called the year compass. I don't think I'm going to finish it today because it's quite long. It's something that Tom's brother told me about a couple of years ago, and I've intended to do it at the end of the year for the last couple of years, but have just never had time. However, this year, fortunately, as I'm currently in quarantine, and also because I am not working for another couple of weeks, I think I do have time to do it. And it's basically just a really nice and thorough review of your last year and way of plotting and planning what you want to get out of your year to come. I will link the website down below. You just download it as a free booklet. I'm not going to print it out. I'm just going to use the prompts and then write in my own journal. That's my plan for today. A couple of quick reading updates before I get on with doing my journaling. I've been listening to a few things. One of the things I've been listening to, and I enjoyed it so much, is on Kate Howe's channel. She is doing a 12 Days of Read Aloud at Christmas series, where she reads out loud a Christmas chapter from not specifically Christmas novels. And yesterday I listened to her one from All Things Bright and Beautiful, which is a book that I have not read but very, very much want to read, about a vet working in a rural Yorkshire village, I gather from the chapter. And it was just lovely. She's done it with Christmas music playing softly in the background, and it was one of the most comforting, delightful, warm things I've ever listened to. So I will link that down below. Do go and listen to it if you think that sounds like something you would like. I love Kate's channel in general, it's just absolutely wonderful. I've also been listening to the Jeeves and Wooster book that I am currently on. I will put it up on the screen because I can never remember which one it is. I'm listening to them as part of a collection, and yeah, this is just continuing to be delightful. I listened to quite a lot of it on my second plane journey, the one that I went on yesterday when I was really tired. It's the perfect thing to listen to when you're really tired and you want to switch off. Just so warm and cozy and funny. And I've also been listening to a bit more of the fourth Harry Potter. We're only on the Quidditch World Cup, so I'm not that far through it overall. Something I wanted to comment on that I am really enjoying about listening to Harry Potter, specifically in French, is that Hermione is pronounced Hermione, and that makes me so happy because when I first read these books as a child, and I would be so intrigued to know whether other people here also had the same experience, those of us who were born like before the films came out and before Harry Potter blew up into a really big thing. I read the first 3 books to myself, I think, as a child before the first film came out, and I always pronounced Hermione's name Hermione to myself because obviously I don't have any knowledge of ancient Greek texts and I've never heard that name before, and that is phonetically the way that you would read it. What I really loved about it was that hearing the name said like that brought back my initial visions of the characters. I remember feeling really upset when I first watched the adaptation of Harry Potter because it like erased the pictures of the characters that I had in my mind, and I've never been able to recapture them since then. When I read, I get what I can only really describe as an impressionist painting kind of vision of the characters. It's more like a feeling than something specifically that I can see. And when I watch TV adaptations, it's like those real life images are more powerful than the ones that my brain creates, and they then erase the ones I've already got, which can be quite upsetting. And so yeah, it was really nice to be able to tap into a little bit of the memories of what Harry Potter meant to me before it became kind of standardized for the whole world through the films. I think I'm gonna make myself another hot cup of tea and then get on with some journaling. The plan for the rest of today really is just editing, journaling, and I think we are going to go out in the garden and have a fire later on this evening because Tom and I are feeling quite cooped up being in quarantine in the bedroom. We've had an issue with our COVID tests, they've not arrived. I think the company is sending some more that aren't going to get here until tomorrow, so yeah, we could do with a bit of fresh air, so we're just going to go out into the garden and that will be ever so lovely. Hey, I just got in from the fire. I'm extremely wrapped up, as you can see. It was already really nice. It's starting to get a little bit chilly though. I am going to get myself ready for bed now. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope that you're doing really well, and I will see you tomorrow. Good night.